Hey everyone, and welcome to Nomadic Family Travels. I'm Kristen. This is my very first video, but I'm just going to talk about why we're leaving China after 8 years of being here. I've been here personally 8 years. My husband has been here about 12 years, but it's finally time to say goodbye to Shanghai, China. And I'm gonna give you just reasons why, where I'm going, and things like that. Recap of my time in China. I arrived in China when I was 23, 31 now. When I first arrived in China before COVID in 2017, I can say Shanghai was absolutely the place to be. Shanghai had everything. They had a TGI Fridays, they had Carl's Jr.'s, Chili's, all those different restaurants, and even like Mexican places, maybe not name brand, but still places that reminded me of home. And it's such a diverse place that I never felt out of place in Shanghai. But overall, when I first arrived here from 2017 to 2019, it was the place to be. I was not ready to go home. I had not visited, but I arrived here as a teacher. I started my teaching career here at a training center. After that, I started teaching at a K through 12 school, bilingual school. The expat community here is very large. There are an abundance of Black people. Everyone always asks me like, oh, are there Black people? There are an abundance of Black people, different types of Asians, Southeast Asians, Koreans. Everyone is here. You will have a large expat community. Still celebrate the American holidays as well as the Chinese holidays. Travel from here is, before 2020, it was quite cheap. It didn't take much to get to places, but after COVID time, flights became very expensive. So some of the things I love about China is the Chinese food. But number one thing I love about China is the safety. This is the safest I've ever been in my life. I'm from the United States, Jackson, Mississippi. You can Google Jackson, Mississippi and the crime rate and all those things, but this is the safest I have ever been in my life. So I take my safety very seriously, especially having a young son that is 5 years old, able to walk outside, and it's 100% safe by itself. So I take the safety very seriously. So safety, food, and how kid-friendly it is. On every corner, there's something to do for a child. Festivals are kid-friendly. Since my son was a newborn, I've been to like bars with him. Never been in a club, but like beer festivals, bars, all of those things are kid friendly. Like they know my son at certain bars out here in China that we frequent just for like Wing Wednesday or Taco Tuesday, things like that. So that's very important to me with living in China. So part 2, why it's time to leave. Like I said, before 2019, everything was smooth sailing here in Shanghai. 2019, I had my son, November 2019. Then we went in that very first lockdown, February 2020. I enjoyed that first lockdown, I'm not gonna lie. I had a newborn. I got to stay at home with him a lot longer. I think I stayed at home with him till he was about 6 months or 7 months old. But those lockdowns in between 2020 and 2023 were crucial because there was like a shortage on food. Stores were closed. We had to like boil water because we couldn't get bottles of water because stores were closed. So that one was very tough, very rough. And when we came out of that lockdown, travel was very expensive. Travel had almost doubled, in some cases tripled. So it was travel that had gotten too expensive. Rent had gotten a bit more expensive, just everyday items. Taking DDs, and if you don't know DD is just a Chinese version of Uber. Those things had gotten a lot more expensive. I don't want to say half because I don't know if that's true, but a lot of the expat community left. Most of my friends left, my husband's friends, some of them left. It was a lot of people to leave. Even the students that I was teaching at my school, a lot of them left. My current school that I'm leaving at the moment had at its peak in maybe 2018 or 2019 about 880 students. And I can say with me leaving the school in 2025, June of this year, the school has about 400. So they lost more than half of their students. And it's not just the school I was at. It's pretty much every school in China right now. About 20,000 kindergartens here have closed, kindergarten daycares, depending on what you call it in your country. And also there was about 40,000 schools in total to close. So there's a shortage on students in the early years departments as well. Schools are lacking students, funding, financials, all of those things. TGI Fridays closed here, College Juniors closed. There were several White Castles, they closed as well. But it started to feel very much more Chinese, even though I'm in China. But before it felt like home. Like, oh, I'm in China, but it still feels like home. But now it's like so many expat businesses have closed, and so many of those things that made Shanghai, very diverse have closed. But I can say I did reach career growth here. I came here with my bachelor's. I started my master's back in the States before I got here, but I wrapped up my master's here during like my last few months. I just switched online and I completed my doctorate here. So I've reached the career growth. The financial packages are awesome here. They were when I started here, but after 2020, it didn't become appealing anymore because schools were starting to lose students. The packages changed a lot, and they actually decreased the salaries, decreased the benefits, and cut costs where they could. So if you're coming into China now, the costs are not as great as they were. The potential for growth and all of those things. But I can say, since I've been here since 2017, my long-term growth, as in savings, all those things, I was able to, buy 2 properties in Zimbabwe, where my husband is from. We've been able to save over like 175,000 USD. I feel like if I were to stay, I would still be able to save, but just not as much as I would have years ago. And I feel like it's lifestyle fatigue too. I've been here 8 years, only Shanghai, and I just feel like it's time for a new chapter. I can say while I've had great years here, there are some things about expat life here in China that made me feel like it's time to go and try something new. Things like wanting more financial freedom, or the financial freedom I had when I first got here. I want new problems, not the same problems in the same place. I want better work benefits. And I would say a change of pace for my family. Shanghai is very fast paced, but I don't know if I've said this yet, but we're going to Saudi Arabia. And I've just been, looking at Saudi Arabia, some of the events they're having, the celebrities that come there for performances. I think that's one of the things that China lacks a lot. Mariah Carey was here recently, but it took forever to get tickets, and it was too much, the tickets. So I just want to be somewhere where I can still enjoy myself and not like, oh, this artist can't come because they're not allowed over here in China, or you can't do this in China. And also another aspect, one of the reasons, Google's blocked here, Yahoo is blocked here, so many other things, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, WhatsApp, all of those things are blocked here in China. So it's not easily accessible without a VPN. Part 3, why I'm choosing Saudi Arabia. I got a new job opportunity in Saudi Arabia at a new school that's opening up. Brand new school will open in August. I thought it would be a good idea to be a founding teacher at a school. I've never been a founding teacher at a school, so I just wanted to, be able to add that to my CV resume that I was a founding teacher at a school. The salary is double what I'm making here, benefits double. The school is covering my housing, utilities, all costs. I have absolutely zero bills in Saudi Arabia, and the salary is tax-free. They're also paying for my son to attend school as well. I want a new culture. I heard there's an even growing expat community in Saudi Arabia, Black and brown people. So I want to be a part of that. And I think better long-term financial planning as well. Being able to plan my finances for years to come, especially with us buying 2 properties in Zimbabwe and needing to build 2 houses. I think I'd be better suited in Saudi Arabia, my husband and I, just because of that salary increase and better benefits and not having any large bills. My final thoughts and what's next for me. I can acknowledge that I had a good time here in China for the past 8 years. I'm thinking of my son, he's been here 5 years, but for the last 8 years, I've had nothing but a good time. time in China, even through the lockdowns. I'm not leaving on a bad note. Would I come back? I am not sure. Unless things change, Chinese people become more open-minded, the government becomes more open-minded, and there are not so many restrictions, yes, I possibly would come back. I do a lot of reflecting on my journey, and I'm very grateful for the experiences that I've had here. I'm looking forward to going to Saudi Arabia with my family. It has been a whole process. In my next video, I'm going to talk about like the whole process of getting my 2 dogs to Saudi Arabia. That has been a whole process, tears, curse words, everything that you can think of, but it has been a whole process. Still a process, because I have to call the Ministry of Agriculture when I get off of this video to confirm some things. But please just look forward to my next video. I'm gonna, show how to relocate your pets and your shipping and all those things to Saudi Arabia from China. There's so many restrictions on both sides, so it has become a huge thing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have you been to China, or did you previously live in China? How was it for you during COVID time? Just let me know. And also, if you're in Saudi Arabia, things I should know, cultural differences before I get there. Peace.